Dawn of 2025. A nation holding its breath. 2025. It arrived like a whispered threat. The aftertaste of uncertainty lingered from the year before. The economy, a roller coaster in recent memory, held its breath. Would it plunge or soar? The nation waited, a collective knot in its stomach. The holidays were over. Champagne bubbles had fizzed into distant memories. Now, the cold, harsh reality of January set in. It felt like a tightrope walk. The wire stretched taut between hope and despair. The stakes? Higher than ever. The dreams of millions hung in the balance. Would 2025 be the year of economic revival? Or would it be another chapter in a saga of uncertainty? Glimmers of hope, the market's steady pulse. Amidst the apprehension there were glimmers of hope. The stock market, often a barometer of national confidence, held steady. It wasn't a euphoric bull run, but it wasn't a terrifying crash either. Like a seasoned tightrope walker, it maintained its balance, defying gravity and expectations. Jobs, those precious building blocks of financial security, continued to be added. The unemployment rate, while not at record lows, remained respectable. People were working, paychecks were being cashed. A sense of normalcy, a precious commodity in these uncertain times, started to take hold. This wasn't the booming prosperity of yesteryears, but it was something. Something to cling to, something to fuel the hope that maybe, just maybe, the worst was behind us. Section 4. The inflation ghost. Will it spoil the party? But, like a specter at the feast, inflation loomed, casting a long shadow over the celebrations. The cost of living, that relentless beast, continued its upward climb. Groceries cost more, and the weekly shopping trip became a dreaded chore. Gas prices were a punch to the gut, making every fill-up a painful experience for drivers, and rent seemed to skyrocket with each passing month, leaving many to wonder if they could afford to stay in their homes. The whispers of inflation became a constant background noise, a nagging reminder that the good times were perhaps not as good as they seemed. Families gathered around kitchen tables, discussing how to stretch their budgets further, feeling the weight of financial uncertainty. The economic recovery, it appeared, was a two-sided coin. On one side, businesses were thriving. On one side, a glimmer of hope with new opportunities and growth. On the other, the shadow of rising prices, threatening to overshadow the progress made. The question on everyone's mind, would this inflation be a temporary blip, a momentary challenge, a bump in the road to recovery, something that could be managed and overcome? Or would it spiral out of control, derailing the fragile economic progress and sending us on a roller coaster of uncertainty? Section 5. Expert opinions, a mixed bag of predictions. Economists, those modern-day oracles, offered their predictions, a mix of cautious optimism and dire warnings. Their insights, often conflicting, painted a complex picture of the future. Some pointed to positive indicators, the steady market, the job growth, as signs of a robust recovery. They highlighted the resilience of businesses and the adaptability of the workforce. Others, however, warned of a looming recession, citing the specter of inflation and geopolitical uncertainties. They emphasized the fragility of the global economy and the potential for sudden downturns. The economy is on solid footing, proclaimed one renowned economist. His words splashed across financial newspapers. His confidence was echoed in boardrooms and among investors. We're seeing strong growth, low unemployment, and renewed consumer confidence. The bustling city streets and thriving businesses seemed to support his claims, but his optimism was countered by a more cautious voice. Skeptics pointed to underlying issues that could undermine this apparent prosperity. Inflation is a serious threat, warned another expert, his words a stark reminder of the potential pitfalls. Rising prices were already affecting everyday lives, from groceries to gas. If we don't get it under control, it could derail the recovery and lead to a recession. The warning signs were there, visible in the fluctuating markets and empty store shelves. So who to believe? The optimists or the pessimists? The debate raged on, leaving many feeling uncertain and anxious. It was a question that plagued policymakers, business leaders, and everyday citizens alike. Each group sought clarity amidst the conflicting forecasts. The answer, it seemed, was shrouded in uncertainty. The future remained a misty landscape with no clear path forward. Section 6. Policy twists and turns. The government's gamble. The government, caught between a rock and a hard place, grappled with policy decisions. Should they raise interest rates to combat inflation? potentially slowing down economic growth? Or should they focus on stimulating the economy, risking further price increases? It was a high-stakes gamble, with the well-being of millions hanging in the balance. Each policy announcement was met with a mixture of hope and trepidation, as the nation held its breath, waiting to see which way the dice would roll. Tax cuts were proposed, then shelved. Infrastructure spending was debated, then delayed. The government seemed to be making it up as they went along, a dangerous game in a climate of such economic uncertainty. Section 7, 2025. A crossroads of choice and consequence. As 2025 unfolded, one thing became clear. It was a year of crossroads. A year where hope battled uncertainty for supremacy. The decisions made by individuals, by businesses, by the government would determine the course of the economy and indeed the nation. Would it be a year of continued growth and prosperity, or would it be a year of economic hardship and decline? The answer, at least for now, remained elusive, hidden in the mists of the future. One thing was certain: the choices made in 2025 would have lasting consequences. It was a year where every decision mattered, where every voice counted. It was a year where the future, for better or worse, was being written.